Alright, last part of the repairs today, and it looks like I am not going to be able to finish getting this weather stripping up in the top here, and the reason why is the way they fastened it to the chassis. There's just some studs sticking out there, and there were some locking washers on each of those studs holding it in place. But those washers were rusted, and they look like a one-time only application. In order to get them off, you basically have to tear them off. So I got the washers over here, and they're all damaged now, so I can't reuse them. So I am going to try and go to Lowe's and see if they have these washers, because I'm not going to go to the dealer for these parts and get charged like 20 bucks or something. So I'm going to see if Lowe's has these washers in stock or something along those lines that I can use. And then all I have to do is flip the new part up in there, and then for each hole in a stud, put one of those locking washers in place. And if they don't have that exact part at Lowe's, I'll just get some degree of a facsimile to, you know, work. And that'll be it. So, PCV valve replaced. Dashboard vent replaced. The sun visor is now being held in place, and all is well with the world. So I'm calling it a day. Get me something to eat, and I plan to relax. It stopped raining. Maybe I'll get my fat butt out here and do some cardio, a couple laps around the neighborhood, go ride the bike or something. Alright guys, take it easy. Alright, I am here, it's another day, doing the weather strip replacement at the top of the rear hatch. As you can see, I got the old one removed. It's down here, and you can see how torn up and damaged it is. Got the new one here, the replacement. So a word of advice, if anybody is going to be doing the replacement on this particular part, two things. These locking washers that you see here that go over these studs at the back are a kind of like, alright, I dropped it. Where'd it go? It's right here. So it's like a one-time use washer. Once you put it over those studs, these little teeth kind of lock on there, and I had to pull them off with some pliers. So they all got ripped up, and they were no good. So I had to go to Lowe's and try to find kind of like an equivalent. And this is what was the best thing that Lowe's had. Let me see here. You can look here and see what it is. So I think these will fit the bill. They're roughly the same size, and they kind of have like a locking mechanism there on the top hat. But it's not a flat washer, but it should still work just the same. So that's one thing. The other problem I just ran into, I was just doing the install for the new strip, and it came pre-drilled with this hole right here. This hole was pre-drilled from the factory. But if I compare these on top of each other, you'll see that their pre-drilled hole does not match. There's a hole here. This is the pre-drilled hole. This is a hole I just had to make. This had a piece of plastic over it and was covered up. So when I went to do the install, I couldn't get it to install because this is where one of those studs needs to go, not here. So it came from the factory drilled with the wrong hole. This hole needs to be drilled, not this one. So I had to get a little knife and cut out this. There was a little indentation here, like there should be a hole there, but it just wasn't done. So just a FYI, if you're replacing this part on the back of your Magnum and you run into that problem as you're trying to install it, you're going to have to wedge out that hole there in order for it to fit. Alright, let's get this install done. Alright, so I'm halfway done with the install here. You can see I got the new strip up in there, and these little hex bolts, these 3/8 hex 3/16 stud little washer locking thingies, they're actually working perfectly. Another tip, these washers fit perfectly into this 10mm deep socket. Fits right in there. So then what this allows you to do is put this over the stud and then just push it, almost like a push pin or something, and then you can see they lock in there. So I got 4 more to do, and unfortunately I cannot do the install and hold the camera at the same time, so I'll just show you the finished product and that'll be it. Alright, finished product here. As you can see all the way across, the strip is installed and neatly tucked under there now. I actually like these new bolts better than the washers that were installed by the factory, the OEM. And just what FYI, it's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's one up in there, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all the way across total. And the finished product is, once we look up in here, you won't even see it. It's too bright. But you can see the rubber stripping is now in there and intact, completely installed. And we are done. Check you guys later.